Right. So if the dollar, if the dollar fails, you're going to be really glad that you own things that can't be printed, silver, gold, Bitcoin. But, you're not going to really like the way the world looks, in that scenario. It's not going to be a pretty scenario. But probably what will happen is, countries will break up and new countries will emerge, and there'll be countries that, that have, rule of law and protect assets and protect citizens' rights. And, productive citizens will move there.
Bitcoin Zella stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoin Zella today and enjoy the new edge. James Lavish and Larry Lepard discuss the financial train wreck that both James and Larry forecast is ahead, why the Fed is trapped, a debt bomb is ticking, why Bitcoin will outperform gold, will the Fed allow a recession?
One of the issues that we've seen over the past few years of decreasing demand internationally for U.S. bonds, and especially long-term treasuries, is that we did something monumentally stupid, like monumentally dumb, when we seized and froze and seized Russian assets and treasuries. That signaled to the world that if you're not a direct ally of the United States and you do something we don't agree with, we may just take your toys away from you. We literally take your money from you. Mm-hmm. And so that just signaled to the world to be careful about owning and trusting the government, U.S. government, and long-term treasuries. It was so monumentally stupid that might have been the biggest mistake that this administration has done.
We weaponized the dollar. Yeah.
Weaponized the treasury and the dollar. Yeah, it was so dumb, and it's going to be painful. So that's one reason that these sovereigns have turned to gold and have turned to, and BRICS in my opinion, isn't trying to start their own currency. They're just trying to figure a way out of having to own U.S. treasuries in order to make energy deals and to have cross-border trade. How can we do that? Well, one of the long-term solutions, gold is not a great solution for that. Gold-backed currencies is not a great solution to that, because it's very difficult for them to determine how much gold you actually have. Can you see President Xi and Putin allowing their operatives to go into their vaults to count up their gold and to test it to make sure? No, of course that's not going to happen. So what could they do that's different? Well, they could do it with Bitcoin. And, we've heard Russia kind of banging drums about, we'll accept cryptocurrency, we'll accept Bitcoin. We'll see how much that really comes to fruition and whether they're not out there mining or whatever they're doing. I think the evidence is strong that they're out there mining in Siberia. But, I think that long-term, sure, the foreign countries and foreign sovereigns should be putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets. And this is the game theory. This is where it comes down to game theory and who they are. And if you're talking about the United States and worried about Bitcoin being a threat to the US dollar, it's not a threat to the dollar. It might just save it. And that's the whole point.
Deceased computer scientist and privacy advocate Len Sassaman is unexpectedly in the limelight, as bettors speculate on the upcoming HBO documentary that advertises itself as revealing the identity of the inventor of Bitcoin. Whether he was the real Satoshi Nakamoto or not, Sassaman was an interesting character. Information about Leonard Harris Sassaman's early life is scant. He attended a Tony private school in his native state of Pennsylvania and was a cryptography wonderkind, according to multiple accounts. While still in his late teens, Sassaman was drawn to San Francisco, California, and fell in with the cypherpunks, computer privacy pioneers who formed something of a movement in the late 1980s. He eventually went on to study under blockchain inventor David Chaum. Sassaman worked on such projects as the Pretty Good Privacy software and its update GNU Privacy Guard. He and his wife, computer scientist Meredith Patterson, founded the SaaS startup Osagato. Sassaman was a doctoral student in electrical engineering at the Katholieke Universiteit Leuven in Belgium when he died by suicide on July 3, 2011, at the age of 31. A memorial to him was encoded into block 138,725 of the Bitcoin blockchain. Sassaman and Patterson married in 2006, and they remained married until his death. Patterson has stated that she does not believe her husband was Satoshi Nakamoto. There is circumstantial evidence to support the theory that Sassaman was Nakamoto. Sassaman left behind an impressive list of publications, conference presentations, and other academic activity, certainly enough to convince a non-specialist of his capability of inventing Bitcoin. He was a member of the International Financial Cryptography Association and regularly spoke on financial cryptography. Among other circumstantial evidence, linguistic analysis provides evidence that Sassaman could be Bitcoin's inventor. Nakamoto went silent 2 months before Sassaman's death. It is also noteworthy that no one has ever touched the $64 billion in Bitcoin held by Nakamoto.
I agree with all that, but to address your issue of what they could do to mess us up, look, Roosevelt grabbed the gold in 33, devalued the dollar by 70%, overnight, and, used that as a way to start to get out of the Depression. This is existential for them. I mean, I could very easily see the, Save the American Dollar Act, which, says that if you own gold or Bitcoin, you got to report what you own, and that the taxes on owning those are now 75 or 80%. And, and even so far as, this is why I think it's okay to buy an ETF if you don't worry about this risk. But me personally, other than my IRAs, which I can't buy Bitcoin any other way, I think self-sovereignty is so important because, just as some countries in the past have said, well, our currency is shit, we're going to grab all the gold mines and refill our coffers, it would be very easy for the United States government to pass a law saying, you know what, let's just cash out everybody who's got a Bitcoin ETF. We'll send them dollars, and that Bitcoin will now belong to the government, right? And so you don't. Oh, and by the way, you can be sure that the day after that happened, Bitcoin would go up 1,000%.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
it really does go to not your keys, not your coins, right? And do I underestimate what these people do? Absolutely not. They've effed me at every single chance they've had for the last 40 years. And, they're evil. And, they're psychopathic. And yeah, they'll do it. They'll do it if they can get enough people and they can somehow justify doing it.
In an October 3 post on X, Thompson said buying Bitcoin in its current price range of $61,000 is a no-brainer, adding that the macro backdrop of priced action for the crypto asset has changed significantly compared with past price drops. He attached a chart of Bitcoin's price action from March 5 this year, when BTC notched a new all-time high of $73,700. Thompson highlighted 3 previous similar setups, in which the price of Bitcoin plummeted and subsequently tumbled well below its 200-day moving average, a key technical indicator used by traders to gauge the midterm strength of certain assets. This time, however, BTC bounced sharply off the technical level, which Thompson said showed a clear invalidation on the back of a 180-degree shift in the macro backdrop, hinting that prices may soon swing upward. I don't usually give very short-term views, but seems like a no-brainer to be bidding this area. Escalating geopolitical tensions in the Middle East spooked markets earlier this week, with risk assets like Bitcoin selling off sharply as Iran took military action against Israel. Growing concerns over the strength of the U.S. economy and uncertainty around the outcome of the U.S. election in November have also weighed on risk assets. Meanwhile, mentions of October, a nickname given to October for its historically bullish crypto price action, have plummeted across social media as markets continue to pull back. In line with Thompson, other analysts also say the lack of recent optimism presents an opportunity for a short-term bounce. October excitement wanes as the market dips, which does open the door for a rebound. Whether the bigger downtrend is over remains to be seen, said Santiment founder Maxim Balashevich. While October has historically been a strong month for returns, with an average gain of over 20% in the last 11 years, most of the gains happen later in the month. In the first half of October 2023, Bitcoin fell 7% to $26,650, but surged almost 30% in 2 weeks to close the month at $34,500, leading some traders to entertain the possibility of a sharp move upward later this month. And do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Seller. The most important news will reach your inbox on a daily basis and for free. I do not know why you have not subscribed yet. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more daily updates. Remember, knowledge is power, and we're here to empower you on your financial journey. Until next time, happy investing.